Another one that I'm going to just look at real quick for looking as a totality to help you is the story in Genesis of Sodom and Gomorrah. And there will be a lot. So the city is destroyed. I don't want to go too deeply into it, but the people there are doing some awful stuff. And God's like, okay, that's enough. I'm going to destroy you. But what is he destroying it for? From the story itself, there's a lot of things you can draw out of it. It's not clear. Is he, like a lot of Christians say, destroying it for the sin of sodomy? Is he destroying it for inhospitality? Because what they literally get destroyed for is they're being bad to strangers, aliens in their midst. So is it care on like immigrants and stuff? Is that what the story's about? Or is it just condemning of like forced sex, right? Because that's what they were going to do. Does it have nothing to do with inhospitality, nothing to do with sodomy? It's just coercion. And there you'll find intelligent people taking all these views. But if we look at the rest of Scripture, we can really come to understand this. And this explanation I'm giving you here is from Mary Healy, if I'm pronouncing that. She's a doctor of Scripture who works for the Pontifical Biblical Commission. She's super great, and I'll put a link to some of her work in the show notes. But if we look, say, okay, I want to understand what's going on in the story of Sodom and Gomorrah. If I look, okay, boom, Ezekiel 16. Oh, cool. Here, it's saying they were destroyed for being inhospitable. Yay, now I know. That's what. And he goes on. But a lot of more modern commentators will say, look, that's what it was about. You can even look at Ezekiel. He explains it good. And that it is true. That is part of why God destroyed them. But the whole Bible we need to look at. So if we look forward at Jude specifically highlights the nature of their sexual sin, the sodomy that they were doing, right? So, we've got both these things here. But even more deeply, let's go just a little bit more deeply here. If we look, what story happens right before Sodom and Gomorrah? It's Abraham. And Abraham is also faced with unexpected visitors who represent God. These angels that are bringing God to him, so much so that it's kind of confusing. Is it God talking or the angel talking? But we're not going to get into that. That's a whole different thing. But so Abraham accepts them, accepts God's call, and it leads to right-ordered sexuality and all this other stuff. But see, when Sodom, those same angels that are representing God, go down to Sodom, and they don't welcome the stranger, see this inhospitality and stuff, but also this not loving God or loving neighbor leads to all these sexual sins and all this other stuff. So the whole story, when you look at it that way, is about, do we accept God's call or reject him? Abraham does, and he's blessed. Sodom does not and is destroyed. So if we accept God's call to us, even if it seems very difficult, we will be blessed. And that's the faith of Abraham. Or will we reject, like Sodom and Gomorrah? And now let's go deeper. When Jesus says it's be more tolerable for Sodom and Gomorrah than on these different towns that are rejecting him, that's what he's talking about. He's putting himself in the place of God because he is God. And he's saying, look, I'm here directly with you. I wasn't directly with the Sodomites. If I was, they would have repented. So he knew, and the Jews knew, that the whole story of Sodom and Gomorrah was accepting or rejecting God. That's what it was about. And Jesus brings it to him, his person.